please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi there, good afternoon. You're watching Your Stocks. I'm Mangla Malu and with me is Sumaira Abdi. Sumaira, looks like the last few minutes have been good for the markets. We've recovered from the low point of the day, but the only concern is a bit of a niggle as far as the mid-cap index is concerned. In fact, the advanced decline ratio should come up for you. It was even Stevens throughout the trading session. The mid-cap index now closing in towards the lower end of today's session, and now the red lines have the red line has actually superseded the green ones, where more declines than advances.
Yeah, so let's get started then, Manglam, and see what else is going on. We'll try and answer a lot of these queries as well that have been coming in. First up, coming through also from Reliance Home Finance, in terms of the net profit, they've seen a decline of nearly about 48% There is an uptick in their revenue, but we'll just wait by and see what the internals suggest. In the meantime, let's invite our two experts. We have Rajat Bose and Shaina Mukaddam, who join in to answer the many queries that are being sent in from our viewers. Good afternoon to both of you experts. Our first query comes in from Parveen Singla, who joins us on the line from Punjab. Hi, Parveen, go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. I have purchased shares of IDFC Bank for the last 6 months, and my expectation is that it's a private bank, price will go higher. And for the last few months, I am seeing that the price is down from 64 to the presently price is 48. And I want to know what is the future of this bank and regarding the price, whether the price will go higher or it will stabilize at this rate.
Okay. So just to clarify, the stock that you're talking about is IDFC Bank and not IDFC.
No,
Rajat?
it's IDFC Bank.
Yes. Rajat, what's your take and what's your advice for our viewer here? I mean, there hasn't been much move in this stock actually through the year. What is your upside target if you see one?
Yeah, the last clause that you added, if I see one, and I'm not really seeing that, because for any upside to be seen in the stock, it needs to actually take out 52 levels. The level of 52 is a critical resistance for this stock, and till such time it really takes out that, we cannot project on the upside. On the other hand, if it were to fall below 47, it will weaken even further. Probably in that case, probably 45 to about 43 could be on the card. So I would suggest that if 47 were to be taken out, Parveen would do well to at least get out of 50% of the position. On the other hand, if it were to move above 52, the next step would be 55.5, and 55.5 to about 57 would be another strong resistance zone. For the moment, it is not stabilizing, it is weak, but there are signs that it might actually go for a revival if 47 were not to be broken.
All right, so if 47 is not broken, hold on, else sell it. That's the view coming in on that. But just keep an eye out on a couple of stocks coming in from the Reliance group, the ADAG group, that is. They have been under pressure, but now we're seeing extended selling in Reliance Communication, Reliance Infra, Reliance Naval, as well as Reliance Power also. So all those stocks are seeing a bit of selling. And a word on Reliance Home Finance numbers. While the net profit is down 47%, optically it is all primarily because of the tax expense, which is coming at 33 crores versus a reversal of 68 crores. So profit before tax is actually much higher, 90 crores as compared to about 41 crores. So that is why we're seeing a bit of reversal on Reliance Home, but no such luck for other Reliance group companies, Reliance Communications, Reliance Power, Reliance Infra, all of them under some pressure, seeing extended selling as we speak. But let's move on. We have Gautam Purohit writing to us from Goa, holds 2,000 shares of Bharti Airtel at 464 rupees for the last 3 months. Short-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Shahina, Bharti Airtel numbers likely today. The company in all probability is likely to post its first quarterly loss in the last 15 years. For the short term, what's your view?
Yeah, I think he should sell and get out of the stock. The sector is absolutely out of favor, not expected to do well. I think Jio, as you very correctly put it, Jio is putting a lot of pressure on the overall sector, and I expect even Bharti Airtel to report a pathetic set of numbers, as is known in the market. And I think there is lower ARPUs expected across the board. Numbers are expected to be weak. And if you see the balance sheet quality is deteriorating. You know, if you see the last 3 years, the profits are coming down down and the debt is moving up, and substantially to that extent. So I would just sell. I see it going down to 360. So keep a stop loss of 420.
Okay, Rajat, I know numbers expected on this one this evening, but how are you reading the chart so far?
Charts, actually there was mild bit of recovery, a fledgling recovery was seen, but then with the kind of results expectation, I suppose the recovery will be nipped in the bud, and it's already going down. So if it were to fall below 375, that is the last port of call for the bulls. Below that, one should not stay put. One thing I would like to add here is that probably after infra, steel and power, this is another sector that would actually be dogged by a lot of huge loans on the books of companies, and there could be problems going forward given the humongous debt that these companies have accumulated. And they are not shareholder value generators. I mean, Bharti had been at one point of time, but not anymore. So telecom stocks are best avoided for long-term investment.
Well, Gati has been a star in trade today, and as we speak, the stock has actually hit the 20% upper circuit. Remember, there's a board meet on the 26th to induct a strategic investor. So ahead of that, expectations now riding high. Well, we just got earnings coming through from Reliance Home Finance, not looking very good. So naturally, there are some worried investors out there. Chandrakumar Gupta is one of them. He writes to us from Jaipur. He holds 359 shares in Reliance Home Finance. He's bought in at 98.75. He's been holding on for about 4 months. He's a medium-term investor and now wants to know what he should be doing at this price. He's making a bit of a loss, about 12,000 odd. Shaina, what's your quick take on Reliance Home Finance? I don't know if you've had the chance to actually go through the numbers which have just come in. Profits are down about 50 odd %. Revenue is up 32% to about 433 odd crores. And the gross NPA has come in at 0.8%. How do you see the numbers and what's your advice?
See, I would not read too much into the huge decline that you're talking in terms of percentage on a YOY basis, because the base was pretty high, and if you see the results in the last 3 quarters, the run rate has been about 45-46 crores, between 35 and 45 crores. So to that extent, I think one needs to put that in perspective. I think in terms of size, it's pretty decent size. They've got AUM of about 12,000 crores and order book of close to about 10,000 crores. So I would continue holding this stock based on price to book value of less than 2 times. And I would keep a stop loss of about 56 and keep a target of close to 80.
Yeah, actually, just a correction, the stock has actually recovered significantly. There's a note actually which I'd missed earlier, that the tax expense has come in at about 33 crores, which compares with the tax reversal of 67 crores, and hence that kind of move on the profit figure. But Rajat, you have a quick take on the stock?
The quick take is that the support level that I mentioned as a stop loss for holding this stock, that has been tested, almost tested today. 60.05 is the bottom for the day, and that was the stop loss level that I mentioned that one should continue to hold on, provided that is not taken out on closing price basis. So I would agree with Saina that this stock should be held, and I would maintain that same stop loss. And the level that I would like to mention here is that 67.50 is a critical level on the upside. If it were to be taken out, then you can expect it to move up, and probably 75, 77 and thereafter 85 going forward. But as of now, watch out for 67.50, and at any point in time, if it were to fall below 60, then get out.
All right, so that's as far as Reliance Home Finance is concerned. Just keep an eye out on ICICI Prudential. They've given their numbers. The net profit is down 17%. 340 crores is what the company's posted as against 400 crores. Stock has taken a bit of a nick from the top. Remember, yesterday it was up about 3.5%. So maybe some bit of profit taking, and perhaps the street doesn't like that there is a decline in the profits. Trying to get in some more numbers as well. The kind of premium that they've earned, gross premium has come in, net premium income has come in close to around 86.55 crores. That compares with 75.26 crores on a year-on-year basis. Quarter on quarter to 86.55, that compares with about 67.95 crores. So we've seen an improvement in gross premiums received. We need to find out what exactly has gone down as far as the expenses are concerned. The net profit has corrected by about 17% year on year, and the stock is actually extending its cuts, seen a 1% cut now.
For ICICI Pru, some more numbers coming through. The 13th month persistency ratio has come in, and it looks to have actually improved a tad bit. I think that number flashed by. In the 61-month persistency ratio as well just flashed by for you. We'll try and get Abhishek to make more sense of those numbers, but for now, that stock correcting about 1.5%. All right, let's get back to answering some of the queries. Des Raj writes to us. He wants to talk about ICICI Pru. He has 45 shares. He has bought in the IPO. He's a long-term investor and wants to know what he should do at the moment. China?
Well, he's a long-term investor and he's bought it in the IPO and he's making money. He can hold it. But I think the numbers that prima facie that I hear of look pretty disappointing. So, and you know, the problem is that the stock is priced to perfection. On a price to book basis, it's about 8 times. I mean, that wouldn't be the ideal way of looking at it. I mean, there are other factors also for an insurance one needs to look at it. But I think it has been on the buy book for most of the funds and most of them hold it. So I would be a bit cautious for the shorter term. For the longer term, I think there is a lot of opportunity. So I would hold it with a target of 430 for the long term. Keep a deep stop loss of 370.
All right, hold for the long term with a target of close to around 400. Rajat, your view on ICICI Pru?
To me, this stock looks quite weak, but then he's a long-term investor and he's invested in the IPO, so he has some cushion, and I would suggest that maybe long-term things will pan out from that perspective. Hold on with the stop below 350. But if you were to ask me whether one should buy at the current levels, no. Absolutely not. I would say let it clear 405, only then it will show some technical strength, and especially the kind of volatility that it has shown today, and the trading is now happening almost at the mid-range of the wide-ranging day kind of pattern that we see in today's session. That suggests that the upside potential gets capped by today's volatility.